Good day everyone, I'm Jose Aquino Jr. from CRT Cabanatuan Branch, and for today's video, papakita namin sa inyo ng mga groupmates ko kung paano laruin yung volleyball at saka kung ano pa yung mga kailangan sa paglalaro ng volleyball at saka kung saan nga ba nagsimula ang volleyball at yung pinagmulan nito. Ano pang hinihintay? Simulan na natin.
The rally continues with each team allowed as many as 3 consecutive touches until either team makes a kill grounding the ball on the opponent court and winning the rally. A team commits a fault and loses rally. The team that wins the rally is awarded a point and serve the ball start the next rally.
So, good morning everyone. For our final in PE3 subject is volleyball. So, what is volleyball? Volleyball is a team sport in which 2 teams of 6 players are separated by a net. Each team tries to score points by grounding a ball on the other team's court under organized rules. It has been a part of official program of the Summer Olympic Games since Tokyo 1964. So, yung volleyball is team sport na kung saan merong dalawang grupo na naglalaban at yung dalawang grupo na yun is merong 6 na players. Yung dalawang grupo na yun is sinusubukan nila maka-score sa pamamagitan ng grounding a ball doon sa court ng kalaban na sumusunod pa rin dun sa organized rules ng volleyball. At naging part din ito ng official program of the Summer Olympic Games sa Tokyo simula pa noong 1964. The complete set of rules is extensive, but play essentially proceeds as follows. A player on one of the teams begins a rally by serving the ball, tossing or releasing it, and then hitting it with a hand or arm from behind the back boundary line of the court over the net and into the receiving team. Must not let the ball be grounded with their court. So, ang paglalaro ng volleyball is nagsisimula sa samahan ng isang grupo at merong isang members na ito yung tinatawag natin na serving o magsaserve ng ball sa pamamagitan ng pagpalo niya doon sa bola gamit yung kamay or braso niya. Papunta doon sa court ng kalaban na kung saan yung kalaban naman ay hindi papayag na maka-score sila or mag-ground yung ball dun sa kanilang court. The team may touch the ball up to 3 times, but individual players may not touch the ball twice consecutively. Typically, the first 2 touches are used to set up for an attack, an attempt to direct the ball back over the net in such a way that the serving team is unable to prevent it from being grounded in their court. So, yung team, pwede niyang mahawakan yung bola ng 3 beses, but yung individual players is hindi nila pwedeng mahawakan yung bola ng 2 beses.
Ball usually played with hand or arms, but player can legally strike or push short contact the ball with any parts of the body. A number of consistent techniques have involved in volleyball, including spiking and blocking. Because these plays are made the top of the net, the vertical jump is the athletic skill emphasized in the player position and offensive and defensive structures.
The volleyball equipment are ball, net and balls, knee pad, court equipment, shoes, and protective gear. Number 1, ball. The type of ball required in volleyball depends on the type and level of volleyball you play. Beach volleyballs and indoors volleyballs vary in size, weight, and composition. Beach volleyball is played with 2 players on a smaller sand court with a larger, lighter ball while indoor volleyball is played with 6 players on a larger court with a heavier, faster ball made of leather. Ang uri ng bola na kinakailangan sa volleyball ay nakasalalay sa uri ng antas ng volleyball na yung lalaro. Ang pang-beach na volleyball at panloob na volleyball ay magkaiba sa laki. Ang volleyball beach ay nilalaro kasama ang dalawang manlalaro. Samantalang ang panloob na volleyball ay nilalaro ng 6 na manlalaro. Ang panloob na volleyball ay gawa ito sa leather, kaya ito ay matibay. Number 2, the net and poles. The net divides the volleyball court into 2 halves. The height of the net varies based on the age of the players and the surface being played on. An indoor net is 7 feet 11.5 over 8 inches in height for men and 7 feet for 4 and 1/8 inches for women. Beach volleyball nets are hung at the same height in addition to the nets and the poles from which they are hung. Protective padding is required to surround these structures to ensure player safety in case of collision. Ang net and poles ay hinahati sa dalawang hati. Ang taas ng net ay batay sa edad ng mga manlalaro. Number 3, knee pads. Indoor volleyball is tough on the knees. Most courts are on the wooden gymnasium floors, making knee protection a must. Knee pads come in 2 traditional styles. Small, flatter knee pads are worn by beginning players and sometimes by a setter. These players do not traditionally dig or dive. For the ball repeatedly, defensive players who dive frequently often prefer the bubble style of knee pad. These full coverage pads are often made of shock absorbing memory foam to prevent injury. Ang knee pad ay mahalaga sa pagbabalibol dahil ito ay pagpoprotektahan ang ating mga tuhod para kapag dumulas o nahulog tayo, hindi tayo masusugatan. Number 4, shoes. Volleyball specific shoes have a gum rubber sole. This type of sole provides a lot more traction than a regular sport shoe or cross trainer. Volleyball shoes are also made to support a player's lateral movement. The front of shoe has extra cushioning and padding to help absorb some of the shock created by jumping and landing. Beach volleyball players can get away with no shoes playing barefoot. Ang sapatos na gum rubber sole ay meron siyang padding sa harapan para ito kasi ay nagbibigay ng lakas para makatalon at saka hindi siya masaktan. At ang sapatos na may gum rubber sole ay pang sports na sapatos. Volleyball facilities. Volleyball court dimensions. The volleyball court is 60 feet by 30 feet in total. The net is placed in the center of the court, making each side of of the net 30 feet by 30 feet. Hahatiin po sa gitna, tapos yung place, tapos ilalagay sa gitna yung net na may sukat na 30 feet by 30 feet. Center line. Center line is marked at the center of the court, dividing it equally into 30 feet squares, above which the net is placed. Ayun nga po yung sabi ko po kanina. Ilalagay yung net sa gitna at hahatiin ng 30 feet. Attack line. An attack line is marked 10 feet of each side of the center line. Ang attack line ay matatagpuan mula sa iba't ibang gilid ng court at may layo ito sa net ng 3 meters. Service line. A service line, the area from which the server may serve the volleyball, is marked 10 feet inside the right sideline on each backline. Ang service line ay siya ang nagsisimula ng laro at siya ang may pinakamalayo sa net.
Hello mga kapi! Ako si Angelica A. Herrera, ang inyong kapi for today. Ngayon ay ating pag-uusapan kung paano nga ba nagsimula ang sports na volleyball. Ikaw, alam mo ba kung paano nagsimula ang sports na volleyball? At dahil hindi nga natin alam, tara, ating alamin. Let's go! So, eto na nga mga kapi. Ang chika sa likod ng sport na volleyball. Alam nyo ba na noong una ay hindi naman talaga volleyball ang tawag sa sport na volleyball? Kung hindi, mintonet. Ito ay na-discover ni Mr. William Morgan, isang American, noong 1895. At meron pang chika bago niya ma-discover ang sport na volleyball. Noong nasa college si Mr. Morgan, ay naging kaibigan niya si Mr. James Naismith, cover ng sport na basketball. So after nga makagraduate ni Mr. Morgan, naging isa siyang director ng Young Men's Christian Association or YMCA in Holyoke, Massachusetts. Noong siya ay isang director, doon na nga nagsimula na kanyang maisip or magka-idea si Mr. Morgan sa sport na volleyball, na kung paano niya iimbentuhin yung sports na volleyball. At doon ay ginawa niya yung sports na volleyball or mintonet in a combination of basketball, tennis, baseball, and handball. Bakit nga ba naging combination yung volleyball ng 4 na sports, different sports? Diba? Kapag tayo ay naglalaro ng volleyball, para din tayo nagbabasketball. Kasi may bola tayo, at dinidribble tuwing magsaserve tayo. Bago tayo mag-serve, we are going to dribbling the ball, then we are going to serve it. Bakit naman naging baseball? Kailangan nating tamaan yung bola. There are different way of serving. Merong iba't ibang way ng pagsaserve, and it was came up with the sports of baseball and tennis. Then sa an ongoing play, meron namang kasama yung handball kasi sa paghahawak ng bola. for tossing the ball and receiving the ball like that.
Morgan was keen for his sport to offer less physically intense and demanding alternative to Naismith basketball, one that would appeal to a far broader range of age and physical abilities. Describing his early experimentation, he said, in search of an appropriate game, tennis occurred to me, but this required rackets, balls, and a net, and other equipments. So it was eliminated, but the idea of net seems a good one. We raised it to a height of about 6 feet, 6 inches, and 1.98 meters from the ground, just above the head of an average man. We needed a ball, and among those we tried was a basketball bladder. But this was too light and too slow. We therefore tried the basketball itself, which was too big and too heavy. It was not until 1900 that a specially designed ball, lighter and a smaller, was devised, which opened up a whole new range of tactical and technical possibilities. For the sports, the offensive style of setting and spiking was first showcased in 1916 in the Philippines. Over the years, the followed the rules of a sport were further refined and standardized in 1970. The scoring system per game was changed from 21 to 15 points, while in 1920 the rule stipulating a maximum of 3 hits per team was instituted until the early 1930s. Volleyball was for the most part a game of leisure and recreation, and there were only a few international activities. And the competitions, there were different rules of the game in the various parts of the world. However, national championships were played in many countries, for instance in Eastern Europe, where the level to play had reached a remarkable standard.
Beach volleyball, which had its origin on the beach of California back in 1930, had to wait until 1996 for its inclusion on the Olympic program, and it has helped take the global reach and popularity of the sport to a new level. Okay, ang beach volleyball ay unang nilaro sa California noong 1930 at noong 1996 naman ay kasama na ito sa larong Olympic program para sa patuloy na kasikatan at para mas mag-level up pa ang larong volleyball. At after 20 years nga, patuloy pa rin siyang sumisikat, lalo na nang laruin ito sa mga Olympic Games na dinadaluhan ng mga libo-libong tao. Today, over 120 years after it was first conceived, volleyball is played by more than 800 million people worldwide, a fact that would surely leave its creator, William Morgan, whose goal was to create a sport open to all, a huge amount of satisfaction. So, ayan nga, after ng 120 years, mula nang naimbento ni William Morgan ang larong volleyball, halos 800 million na yung naglalaro nito o higit pa, na talaga namang tumatak sa mga puso ng mga tao, na tanging layunin lamang niya ay makaalikha ng kasiyahan para sa lahat.
So, yun mga rules and regulations na dapat natin tandaan
sa paglalaro ng
volleyball. Peace out. So, mga ka-PE, it's me, Marion.
and Leaf Mark.
So today ang pag-uusapan natin is yung about sa volleyball. How to play volleyball. Paano nga ba laruin ng volleyball? So sa larong volleyball, kailangan natin ng 12 participant na hati sa dalawa. So, ang kailangan natin is 12, 6 and 6 po ang mga players natin sa larong volleyball.
So, pangalawa, paano nga ba laruin yung volleyball? Ano yung mga kailangan nating equipments o mga required facilities sa paglalaro ng volleyball? So, unang-una, kailangan natin ng net. Then, pangalawa, yung bola or ginagamit ng volleyball player, yung volleyball ball. Then, ano yung tawag sa isa? Net stand, isang referee, then dalawang linemen.
And then, at syempre, yung mga players natin na maglalaro ng volleyball. And then, may mga rules and regulation tayo na dapat sundin sa larong volleyball. Ano-ano ba nga ba ito? Una sa lahat, meron tayong tinatawag na 6 players on the floor at any one time. 3 in the front and 3 in the back row. So, yun po yung, doon po yung nakalagay yung mga players natin. And position nila. Yun.
Pangalawa, maximum 3 hits per side. So, okay. So, ang pangatlo natin, points are made of every serve for winning team of rally.
So, ang ibig sabihin lang po noon is kapag nag-serve po yung ating player sa kabilang opponents, kapag hindi na-hit nung kabilang opponents yung serve ng team nyo, meaning to say, score nyo na po yun. Yes po. Pangapat natin, so kapag nagbabalikan tayo ng bola sa ating larong volleyball, kailangan yung isang player o yung dalawang player hindi dapat dumikit sa net. Once na dumikit tayo sa net, ibig sabihin score na ng kabila. Kung di score ng kabila, violation po ang mangyayari. And then ang isa pang rule po is kapag nag-serve tayo, kailangan po hindi siya lalagpas sa ating row or sa line po para maging score pa rin ng team natin. If ever po na lumagpas yung ball sa serve nyo or sa tira nyo, magiging score ng opponent nyo or ng kalaban nyo. At pagdating naman po natin sa referee, sila po yung mga titingin kung mayroon tayong violation na nagaganap or sila din po yung titingin kung score natin or score ng opponent natin.
Tapos sa mga linemen naman, sila yung mga obligated na titingin kung naka-in or out yung bola
once po na sinerve or tinira po ng
kalaban or sa inyo, sa team nyo. So bago simulan ng paglalaro ng volleyball, kailangan natin ng drills or warm-up na ipapakita nila JM at
na ipapakita ni Denver at ni Jerome. So, kaya kailangan natin ng drills and warm-up para hindi tayo magkaroon ng muscle cramps, para hindi rin tayo mapulikat.
Okay mga ka-PE, ngayon ay nakita nyo na ang mga information at dapat tandaan sa paglalaro ng volleyball. Thank you!